Hey guys, it's Bibbing2PM96, and today I'm going to tell you guys about gerbil breeding. And I have bred gerbils before. I did it once, and I won't be doing it again because it was a lot of work. But in case you guys get accidental litters from missexed parents, or you buy a gerbil from the pet store and she happens to be pregnant, as some of them are, or you just purposely breed them, um, then it's just kind of helpful to know this. So, first of all, I want to warn you guys against breeding. It is an incredible amount of work, and it's like, I think it's like a labor of love. I think that's what it's called. You will make absolutely no money off of breeding gerbils. Let me tell you that now. It costs more to take care of gerbils, of babies, of the pups, than it does to sell them. Because if you sell them, no one is going to buy a gerbil from you because you are not a registered breeder and you're not a pet store, so you have no credentials. So therefore, if anyone's going to buy a gerbil from you, your gerbil has to be about $5 because any more expensive than that, and they're probably just going to buy from a pet store. You're like prospective buyers or whatever. And if you do give them to a pet store thinking, oh, what if the pet store pays me money? No, they usually don't. They usually take them from you and then, well, actually, a lot of pet stores won't even take them, but if they do, then they will take them, put them into like a box or something, or like a spare cage, and then just give them away. And then you have no idea where they're going to go and like what kind of owner will be owning them next. Some people just go to the pet stores for the free like rodents and they feed them to their snakes. And I'm not like looking down upon you people who do that because yes, your snakes need to eat. And honestly, I think that's a perfectly okay thing to do because snakes need to eat. But like for those of you who want to breed your gerbils and you want your gerbils to go to a good home, I'm sure you don't want them to be eaten by a snake. And again, people who own snakes, I don't mean any offense to you. Snakes are awesome. I would own them if they didn't need to eat live food. I absolutely love snakes. They're just so cool, but I don't want to feed them live food, so that's why I don't get them. But just be warned, those of you who give your gerbils to your pups to pet stores, they may get eaten by snakes. Um, yeah. And another thing is that gerbils, the pups are so susceptible to death. They're just, it's like a baby. Like babies, they're so easily killed. Like any number of things could be deadly for them. And it's the same thing for gerbil pups, if not more. And you just need to be really, really careful with gerbil pups. And they're just so much work, and you guys will make no money off of them. Let me promise that to you now. The best chance of life that your gerbils will, your pups will get after they're being raised by you, done being raised by you, is going to a shelter and then being given to another family who hopefully knows more about gerbils. And like, I'm pretty sure that my girls, they are from an accidental litter because they were passed from different shelters because gerbils aren't especially popular and they were passed from a bunch of different shelters, but they finally ended up here. But I can take a good guess that these guys were an accidental litter. And they came to a good home, but I'm sure the person who gave them up didn't get any money from them. But they came to a good home, so it was worth it, right? Yeah. So anyways, now I'm going to teach you guys about the actual, like, art of breeding. Okay, so, let's see, what's the first thing about breeding? Ah, yes, the cage. You absolutely need, for a breeding pair, a 20-gallon cage. There's no substitute for a 20-gallon cage for... Sorry, I'm leaning back because I'm trying to show this to you guys because I don't want to move. So this is it. You need a 20-gallon cage. There's no other option. You need a 20-gallon. And if you want to breed, it's easiest... Well, actually, if you want to breed, and you will have to, if you buy a male and female gerbil that are definitely male and female, they probably weren't raised in the same tank, so you will have to do split cage for them. And that's work right there in itself. It's tons of work to do split cage. But once they have bonded, it's safe to mate them. Never ever put a sexually mature female and a sexually mature male together under any circumstances without using split cage. Okay, that's like my first warning to you. So after they have bonded, your male will kind of chase the female around and mount her. And after he'll check himself, and it's been a while since I bred, but I do believe that he does it maybe 3 times. Actually, wait, no, he'll check himself, and I think if the female checks herself too, I think sorry guys, that's it. That's what it is. If the male and the female both check themselves, that means that the mating most likely has been successful. So, you guys just have to wait. And I don't remember how long a pregnancy is, but they will not show until pretty soon before they give birth. They won't show for like a really long period of time like people do. They'll start showing pregnancy, and then like maybe a few weeks after they will give birth. It's not like there's not much warning to it, and there's not much you can do to prevent. Well, I guess there's nothing well preventing if you're purposely breeding, but you know, whatever. Sorry guys, I'm having difficulty talking today. I don't know why. So then, once your female is pregnant, you can leave the male in there. It really doesn't matter. But once she gives birth, I would definitely recommend moving the male to a different cage. And here's why. Males are great. They are wonderful. They're great dads. They're absolutely incredible. They're so helpful to the mom. But the problem is that as soon as her first litter gets weaned, she will give birth again if you leave the dad in there. And having births constantly one after another is extremely stressful for female gerbils, and they will die sooner. So I would recommend just taking the male out and then reintroducing them or whatever, but I would definitely recommend taking the male out until you are ready for another litter, and until your mom is ready. Well, not your mom, but like your mother gerbil is ready for another litter. Yeah. So in the cage itself, the 20-gallon cage, because you might want to leave the mom in there, you want to have maybe an inch of bedding, like this much maybe, and that's it. Nothing else. An inch and a half at most, not 2 inches. The reason for this is that your mom will want to bury her to make burrows and to put her babies under the burrows. And while this is not unhealthy for them in any way, you want to be able to make sure that you can check up on them and you can make sure that they're healthy. It's impossible to tell whether or not they're healthy and getting enough milk and everything unless you can actually see them. So you do not want your babies underneath in a burrow. You never do. So always just put maybe an inch or an inch and a half of bedding down. Next thing is no wheel, no house, no food bowl, no thick wood chews, just none of it. There can be absolutely no accessories in their cage, because once the pups have grown and they start moving around, they can get crushed underneath the wheels or the huts, because these are heavy, and you do not want that near the gerbils. So not all of this has to go. You can have a box, but then they might nest under the box, so I wouldn't recommend a box. I would just recommend putting like a toilet paper roll in so that the mom can chew it so that her teeth still wear down, and a water bottle. You can still use a water bottle, because how are they going to get crushed under something that's not actually attached to that's not actually on the bottom of the cage. And then for food, I would recommend just putting a little pile of food near her. I would recommend putting the water bottle, the toilet paper roll, and a little pile of food near the mother gerbil so she can easily access it without having to leave her pups for too long, because that might make her anxious or like nervous about leaving her pups alone. Because gerbil moms are incredibly protective, and gerbils are really great mothers, but they could get crushed under a food bowl, especially if it's ceramic. So you always just want to have a little pile of food instead, and no random rocks or whatever. Next, you just have to wait it out. Don't you can touch the babies. Gerbils are not like hamsters. They won't like eat their babies or anything if you touch them. However, they do still eat their babies, and there are a bunch of reasons why. The first mistake that a lot of gerbil owners make is not adding enough protein to their diet, and gerbil pups have tons of protein in their body, which is, I guess, pretty good for mother gerbils, because if you don't add protein to their diet, they will eat a pup in order to maintain lactation and like keep themselves healthy enough to feed their other ones. So always add protein to their diet. I would definitely recommend Innova Senior Adult Dog Food. If not, tofu, cooked tofu works great. You can take a little bit of egg white. You can take egg white and then mix it in with a little bit of yolk, not the entire yolk, but just a little bit, and just mix it up and like fry it or scramble it or whatever. And then give them a little bit. What else works well? Mealworms, dried mealworms, because they can't chase the mealworms around. But, well, mealworms don't really move that fast, but dried mealworms are really great sources of protein. So you always want to add protein to their diet. You need to make sure that they always, always, always have water. Because if they are dehydrated, they will also eat their babies for the moisture in the blood of their pups. They will eat them. So you always have to make sure that the water bottle is completely full, refilling every single day. You must make sure that there is water. If the gerbil is dead or dying or sick, the mom will eat the baby in order to prevent other gerbils from getting sick. Or if the gerbil is dead, then she's just kind of making use of it, I guess, and making sure that, I don't know, I guess it's healthier for her if she eats the baby, because it's not like the baby's doing anything being dead. So the mom is kind of giving the baby a purpose after its death. And then finally, if the baby's dying, the mom will eat it to make sure that, I guess, because she doesn't want her babies to suffer, so she eats them. And if you do see your pup getting eaten, do not panic. It's a thing of nature. They do eat their babies. Just, you might want to make sure after that to make sure that, do you have enough water and have you been adding protein to their diet, just to make sure that, like, you don't make that same mistake again, or you lessen the chances of more gerbil pups getting eaten. Yeah. So occasionally, babies will not be getting enough nutrients, so from the milk, so you may have to feed the baby yourself. And sometimes there are the runts of the litter and everything, and those will occasionally happen. Just sometimes they don't get as much milk as the others. So if you see that a gerbil is much smaller than the others or not getting as much milk as the others, you may have to nurse it yourself. So what you're going to do is you can buy these at a pet store. They're just like these little syringes, and you fill it with highly concentrated puppy milk, because if you follow the instructions of the concentration of the puppy milk, it's not quite as concentrated as gerbil milk is, because gerbil milk is highly concentrated, so you're going to want to up the concentration of the puppy milk that you buy. Kitten milk works okay too. So you want to increase the concentration, and you want to just gently squeeze it into its mouth, and your pup will get full really quickly. It doesn't really take that much to fill a pup because they're really small. And you want to wipe the excess milk off their mouths, because it dries like cement. Trust me, it's incredibly hard to get off. It's like an ordeal. And you just want to keep syringing into it, and if you like regular feeding times and stuff, so yeah. And then gerbils do wean themselves, so once your pup starts eating hard food, do not stop the supply of milk. It will take a little while after your pup starts eating whole, like, actual food for it to become fully weaned, but you don't have to wean the gerbil yourself. Like, the regular pups, they will wean themselves, their moms will wean them for them. Don't worry about weaning. But you always want to have hard food available for the mom, and so that they can eat it when they're ready. Yeah. Once they've been weaned, you need to separate them. Oh wait, about feeding them yourselves, you never want to do that unless you're absolutely sure that there is a runt and that gerbil is not getting enough milk, by the way. And if you try and wean them yourselves, they may become underdeveloped, and they may not be as healthy as a gerbil that has weaned itself. Anyways, so after they have weaned themselves, you want to separate the males and the females, in the same way that I told you that I did in my How to Sex a Gerbil video. And I don't know, maybe I haven't uploaded that yet. I record these in like mass, and then I just kind of upload whichever ones I feel like. So, by the time you watch this, it'll probably be like a month after I recorded it, but hopefully I'll have recorded the how to sex your gerbil video before that. But anyways, you want to sex them and you want to separate them. You can put one pup with the dad, and you can leave one pup with the mom, but the rest of them must be separated into same-sex pairs, and do with them what you want. You can keep them, you can give them to a shelter if they were accidental or whatever. You can do whatever you want with them, but you want to raise them so that they're healthy. So you always want to separate them, or else if they become sexually mature, they may impregnate the mom, which could result in inbreeding, which is incredibly unhealthy, or they might impregnate their sisters, which is also bad. Because inbreeding can lead to deformations, sicknesses, a bunch of bad things. So finally, a word about the cage, why it has to be an aquarium one. I think I did a video on cages where I told you how barred cages allow for drafts, which are horrible, which can cause colds. And then when the gerbils chew on the bars, they may break their teeth or get sores on their noses. For pups, it's even worse because wire cages tend to be a bit higher, and they tend to be higher up on like a desk or like a table or something. And pups have been known to fall through like the wire and fall on the ground and die. So you never want a wire cage. It always has to be an aquarium style one. So yeah. That's about it. Sorry that I say a lot and I kind of go around in circles. I'm just kind of spouting these off the top of my head. I should probably start making notes or something so I'm not this rambly, but yeah. That's pretty much everything you need to know on how to breed your gerbils. Yeah. Bye guys.